So today I thought we're going to work lots on your spinal mobility and on your hip mobility. Many people working from home are not getting their exercise, get a little bit stiff. So the first thing that you do is just sit down on the yoga mat. And today we're going to start by just sitting cross-legged. First, find a place where you can sit cross-legged. If you need to, put a cushion underneath your buttocks. That works as well. And then, because everybody has a bit of a habit of always crossing the same leg to the front, you just swap your legs, find your space, and then we'll start warming up the spine. Put your hands between your legs, and you're going to breathe in, and on the out breath, you tuck your chin towards your chest. You curl your upper back, mid back, your lower back, and you start reaching to the front. Stay there for the in-breath. And out breath, slowly start rolling up, putting your lower back on top of your hips, your mid back on top of your lower back, upper back on top, shoulders on top, head on top. Now put your arms to the back and open your chest to the front, looking up towards the ceiling. Breathing in and out breath. Tuck your chin towards your chest slowly. Roll your upper back, your mid back, arms to the front. Roll your lower back and reach to the front as far as you can. We'll stay there for 2 breaths, and with every breath you reach a bit further. So breathe in and out breath. Crawl a little bit further. 1 more. Breathe in. Out breath, a little bit further. Breathe in and out breath. Slowly roll up from your pelvis, your lower back, your mid back, your upper back, shoulders on top, head on top, arms to the back, and bend backwards, really opening the chest for 2 breaths. Projecting your chest forward as you breathe in. And again, breathe in. And breathe out. Curl up again. Your chin towards your chest. Upper back, mid back, lower back. And reach to the front as far as you can. And we'll slowly go into rotation and side bending. So from here, you go with your hands over to the right, so that your right elbow is almost at your knee. From this position, you're lifting your left arm upwards diagonally to the front, and you try to bring your right elbow to the floor, opening up your left side. Breathing in and out breath. Come down again. Walk your hands to the middle and go all the way over to your left. Your left elbow should be touching your left knee. From here, lift your right arm up, rotate it to the right, try to touch your left elbow onto the ground. Breathing in and breathe out. Fold both of your arms to the front in the middle, and we do 1 more to each side. Go all the way over to the right until your right elbow is at your knee. Push your elbow down towards the ground. Raise your left hand up and look over to the left. And breathe 2 times. Really creating space on the left side of your spine. Then come to the middle again. Stay for a breath. And then walk all the way over to the left, so that your left elbow is at your left knee. Pull the elbow down to the ground and you raise the right arm, leaning long to your left. Breathing in and breathe out. Fold by the middle and slowly roll yourself up into seated. Put your arms behind your back. Stretch your chest to the front. Look up towards the ceiling. Breathe in and out. Then put your arms in front of you so that your knees are underneath your hips and your arms are underneath your shoulders. From this position, we start working on your spine a little bit more. So you're going to breathe in, tilting your buttocks up and looking up towards the ceiling, arching your back. And breathe out, tucking your pelvis under, chin towards your chest, raising as high as you can in your mid-back. Breathing in, looking up towards the ceiling, sticking your buttocks out. Breathing out, curling, tucking under. Breathing in, looking up towards the ceiling, sticking your buttocks out. And breathing out, tucking your belly in, raising your chest. Now, come to the middle position. From the middle position, we're just going to work a little bit more on that mobility. But what you'll do is you straighten your right leg all the way to the back, and then you're pulling it all the way over towards your left, however far you can reach. And all you do is you just shift a bit back and forth from this position. And then you settle somewhere. And you're going to tuck your chin and your chest in, raising the mid back up. And looking up towards the ceiling, sticking your buttocks out. And again, chin towards your chest, tucking your pelvis under. And looking up towards the ceiling, making an arched back. Then bring the leg back to center and straighten out your left leg to the back and bend it over to the right as far as you can. That will open up your left side a little bit more. And you start again, breathing in, looking up, sticking your buttocks out. Breathing out, tucking your pelvis under, raising the middle of your chest. Breathing in, looking up, sticking your buttocks out. And breathing out, tucking under. Then you come to the middle and we'll do the normal cat and cow. But this time you want to circle your pelvis in an oval shape, so I'll talk you through. Tuck your chin towards your chest, tuck your pelvis under. And you want to now go with your buttocks to the left as far as you can. Then as you come towards your left shoulder, you start sticking your buttocks out and your head up. You go over to your right shoulder and then you curl under, sticking your right buttocks out again. So we're going clockwise, same as cat and cow, but just with a bit of rotation. In your own time, few circles as far as you can, and really working every part of your spine. One more clockwise, and we change direction, going towards the left. Good. And find the middle. From here, a little bit more warm up for your spine. You're just going to thread your right arm underneath your left arm. Bend the left arm a little bit, but reach through so that you end up with your right shoulder on the ground and you try to push yourself into rotation to the left and breathe. Then come up via center and left arm reaches through your right armpit. Putting your shoulder onto the floor, adjust your right hand and twist a bit and breathe. Then come to the center, making sure you're not sinking through your shoulders, so push through your shoulders and have your spine in a neutral position. Tuck your toes under, and after you've tucked your toes under, you're just lifting your knees off the floor for an inch, and you hold it there. And then slowly push through your arms and go into your first downward dog. So adjust the distance of your feet towards your hands and pedal out your feet. Pedal out your knees, bending them and stretching them through. And we'll do that a few times from here. Shift forwards onto all fours, but your knees are not touching the floor. And you raise up, lifting your buttocks as high as you can, straightening your spine. Knee to the front, almost touching the floor. And push through again. Knees almost touching the floor. Hold it there. And push through again. And see if your heels can go a bit further towards the floor. Walk your legs out a little bit. From here, either rest in the downward dog position or join me. Go onto your tiptoes, raising up and down about 5 times. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5. Join me in downward dog. And from downward dog, you slowly shift forward into a plank pose. Adjust your feet a little bit, strong through your shoulders, and we'll shift back and forth 5 times, or hold the plank if you wish. Lift up into downward dog. Shift to the front into plank. And 2, lift up, heels down, buttocks up. And plank. And 3. And 4. And 5. From this position, bend your knees a bit and slowly start walking your feet towards your hands. Bend your knees as much as you have to. And you end up with your toes touching your feet. And you just fold your whole spine forward. Let your whole body hang down as much as you can. From here, slowly roll up, tucking your pelvis under, lower back stacks on top of your hips, mid back, upper back, shoulders, looking a little bit up, breathing in, back bend, and breathing out, rolling down all the way, chin towards your chest, upper back, mid back, lower back, hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to touch the floor. And stay there for a breath. Then bend your knees even a bit further so you can straighten out your back, still touching the floor. From this position, you step your left leg back as far as you can into a quite stretchy lunge. And from this position, the first thing that you do is you lift your arms up as high as you can. Adjust your legs if you need to, but really lunge to the front and walk your front foot a bit further. Make sure your shoulders are rotated out, so there's lots of space between your ears and your shoulders. From this position, put your left elbow onto the right knee. Interlace your fingers. You can always do that a little bit higher up if it's too intense. And twist over to the right, following through with your head looking up towards the ceiling. And breathe. Then put both hands next towards your foot. Step to the front and fold forward all the way and slowly roll up into standing. Stacking your spine on top, your head on top, arching your back, breathing in and out breath. Roll to the front again, all the way down. Bend your knees so you can touch the floor, and then bend your knees even a bit more so you can straighten your spine. And from here, your right foot steps back into the widest lunge that's comfortable for you. Adjust your feet, both of them. Then lift up into that lunge, and once you're stable, you lift both arms up as high as you can, and you hold there and breathe. Walk your left foot a bit further to the front for a bit of an extra challenge. And then your right elbow hooks onto your left knee. You interlace your hands and you twist all the way over to the left, looking up towards the ceiling. Still trying to lunge a bit further if you can. Put both of your hands next to your foot. Step to the front. Fold forward and come up into standing. Also raise your arms to the side and above your head. And slowly roll to the front all the way. Touch the ground, bend your knees. And now you start walking backwards towards a plank position with your feet. Once everybody arrives in plank, we're going to do a little forward dive. You can do that on your knees as well. But if you can, join me from here. Make sure you push through your shoulders. Now you go onto your tiptoes, shift your weight to the front. Your pelvis is still tucked under, and you slowly lower yourself all the way until you touch the ground. And that's where you stay. Put both of your hands next to you. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Tuck your pelvis into the floor, creating some space between the floor and your belly button. And then lift up your shoulders, your upper back, your mid back, and go into back bend. Your lower back should not be folding much. You really want to focus mobility on your upper back. Now, shoulders pulling down and together, your thumbs pointing inwards. I'm going to do 20 pulses with your arms. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, just up and down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then your thumb pointing downwards, another 20 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Your thumb pointing outwards, and another 20 pulses. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check that your belly button is still off the floor. If it is, put your arms into a T shape, thumbs this time staying facing forward, and do 20 pulses here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you can, put both of your arms to the front, thumbs facing inwards, and give me another 20 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Belly off the ground, and another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put your arms next towards your lower rib cage and keep your toes as they are. Just push yourself to the front, but lifting up and bending backwards. Breathing in and out breath. Push yourself back into downward facing dog. And hold it there if you can. If you want to spice it up a little bit, hold your downward facing dog And you're going to shift over to the left so that your left hips almost touch the floor. You lift yourself up into downward dog, and the right hips almost touch the floor. And keep going as low as you can, strong through the shoulders, side to side. Down on the left, down on the right, always in the middle, nice downward dog. Down on the left, middle, down on the right, middle, and stay there in your downward facing dog. Now, raise your right leg up behind you and step it to the front next towards your right arm and come up into a high lunge, lifting your arms to the front and holding there. Go a little bit lower. Shouldn't be such a challenging pose, so go a little bit lower and further to the front if you can. Then frame your foot. Bring your right foot to the back, but try to keep it off the floor as you shift to the front. One push up, one forward dive with a back bend, then put the leg down and meet me in downward dog. Left leg raises up, left leg steps to your left foot, raise up, arms up, hold there. Then frame your foot, stay on one leg, but step your left leg to the back. One push up, one dive to the front with a forward back bend. Both legs down. Downward dog. One more each side. Right leg lifts up, right leg steps to the front. Lift up, high lunge, arms up. Frame your foot, stay on one leg if you can. One push up, one dive to the front with a back bend, and downward dog again. Left leg up, left leg steps to the front, raise up into high lunge, arms up. Put your hands next towards your foot, step back on one leg, one push up, one dive to the front with a back bend, and downward dog. And then either start walking your feet towards your hands or bend your knees, look between your hands and jump to the front. And I'll meet you in a forward fold. Slowly roll up into standing. Raise your arms and fold to the front again. Then bend your knees, straighten your back so you can still touch the floor. And now sit backwards into a chair pose. So lowering your buttocks. Once you arrive in your chair pose, you will raise both of your arms up in front of you. And try to squat backwards, even a bit further, holding your chair for 5 breaths. Then fold to the front, put your arms down, straighten your back, walk backwards or jump into plank. One push up, one dive to the front with a back bend. Downward dog. And again, either walk to the front or bend your knees, look between your hands, jump to the front, straighten your back, fold forward again. Then straighten your back, sit backwards into chair pose. And raise your arms up. Hold your chair. If that's already quite challenging, stay in your chair pose. If your legs can still do a bit more, which I hope so, shift your weight onto your right foot only. Your left leg lifts off, it straightens to the side, to the back, and to the front without going down. One more. To the left, to the back, to the front, and go down. Fold forward, relax for a second. And meet me in chair pose again. Shift your weight all the way over towards your left foot, or just stay where you are if it's difficult. Then lift the right leg, put it to the outside, to the back, to, you caught me there, to the front, to the outside, to the back, to the front. Find me in the middle and fold forward. And slowly roll up into standing. Raise your arms above you and roll to the front all the way. From here, straighten your spine, sit backwards, arms up, and we'll do 20 pulses in your chair pose, just your bum going up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Fold to the front. Put your hands down, bend your knees, walk or jump backwards from your plank. 1 push-up, 1 dive to the front with a back bend. And I'll meet you in downward facing dog. You're not going to stay long there. Bend your knees, look between your hands, walk or step to the front, straighten your back, and I'll meet you in chair pose. Here, from chair pose, you put your right hand onto your right hip, and your left elbow joins your right knee. Interlace your fingers and twist to the right, looking up towards the ceiling, and breathe. Fold to the front, relax for a breath. Go into chair pose again. Right arm onto the left knee. Interlace your fingers, twist to the left, and breathe. And fold to the front. Wobble your legs out a bit. Slowly roll up into standing. Raise your arms. And again, roll to the front all the way. Once you bend your knees, you touch the floor, you walk yourself backwards or you jump backwards. 1 push-up, 1 dive to the front with a back bend. And you meet me in downward facing dog. From here, raise your left leg and step to the front as far as you can. And raise up into standing. From here, put your hands onto your hips and you keep your right leg facing forward, but your left leg turns to the outside so it's straight across the mat. Your pelvis still wants to push yourself forward, and you bend your right knee to the front, tucking your pelvis under, pushing your right knee to the outside and standing on the outer edge of your left foot. Then your right hand runs down the outside of your right thigh, your right knee, your right shin, and you try to aim to reach towards your ankle. Your left arm joins on top and reaches over. If you have it in you, take your right arm up and pull your left arm to the right, to the front, as far as you can. While you hold this, I'll talk you through what's coming next, because we're going to put all your weight on your right foot into a one-legged balance. If you don't have a one-legged balance in your repertoire, just keep the feet on the ground or the hands on the ground. So look down towards your right foot, slide your right, come a bit closer, slide your right hand in front of you, but try to keep it off the floor, and then raise your left leg behind you, and you try to twist your whole spine and your pelvis to the left, opening up. Making sure the distance between your foot and your head is as big as possible, and finding stability in this position. Then slowly come forward into one-legged stance, and from one-legged stance you step backwards with your left leg into a long lunge. Raise your arms up, then right arm onto your hip, left elbow onto your right knee, and you come into your second twist to the right. Now look down, put your left hand down onto the mat. Make sure your shoulder is in a good position. If you can't hold a plank on your foot and your hand, go down onto your knees already. Otherwise, stay as you are. You're going to put your weight onto the outside of your left foot, and your right foot lifts up exactly like your right hand, and you meet me in a side plank. Arm up, leg up if you can, and join me for 5 hip dips. So hip down, hip up, that's 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Right leg next to the left leg, and you twist through. So you lift into one-handed downward dog, twisting underneath your left armpit, and you open up again 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And meet me again in side plank. From side plank, if you're not already there, put your knee down and try to keep your knee so it's vertical. And then you lean to the side to put your arm onto the floor in this position. All you do is you lift your right leg off the floor. And now we're going to do 5 circles with the leg. So you come to the front with your right leg, you lift it up to the back and down without touching, and go to the front, up and down. Keep your left leg vertical and go right arm behind your head. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Change directions. Right leg backwards, upwards to the front and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 6. Good. And you meet me in a side plank. Again, fold down into downward facing dog and hold it there for a little bit. Then lift your left leg up and step it to the front. Come into a high lunge. Bend the front leg as you turn your right leg to face across the mat. Left knee pushing to the outside, tucking your pelvis under. and walk into that split stance as far as you can. Now, your left arm goes to the outside of your left thigh, your left knee, your left shin, your left ankle, maybe touch the floor, and your right arm follows that lead, going up and reaching forward. If you can, join your hands together and pull yourself to the left, but make sure that your hips are tucked under, your left knee is pushing to the outside, and you're standing on the outside of your right foot. Get yourself in a position so that you can put lots of weight onto your right foot. So you're looking down towards your left foot, sorry for that. All you do is you bend your left leg, you reach with your left arm down, you raise your right leg, you raise your right arm, and you're in your one leg balance, and twist to the right and hold it there. Then slowly come into one-legged stance. Don't put the foot down yet. Lunge backwards into a deep lunge. Put your right elbow onto your left knee and twist over to the left. And that's your second twist to the left of today. Really creating space between your vertebrae. Nice long body. From here, put your right hand down onto the floor. You know what's coming. You're going to go into a side plank. So if that's not for you, maybe go onto your knees. Other than that, rotate your shoulders outwards, your right shoulder outwards. Go onto the outside of your right leg. And as you raise your left arm, your left leg will follow. And hold your side plank. If you're strong, or if you're very strong, go with your hip down 5 times and up. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5. Step your left leg next towards your right, and you go into one-handed downward dog with threading through the arm and open up again. 1 and 2. 3, 4 and 5. Meet me in side plank again, and if you're not already there, put your knee down, put your thigh at about 90 degrees, and put your weight onto your right elbow, and lift up your left leg, your left arm behind your neck, and we start with the leg circles to the front. So left leg shifts to the front, up and back. That's 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and change directions backwards and up. Apparently I lost my count with each of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and join me in side plank again. Fold through into your downward dog and hold there for a moment. Then lift your left leg and step your left leg to the front. Raise both of your arms up. High lunge. Put your hands onto your hips and just twist sideways so that you're in a wide split stance. From here, you go as far apart as you feel comfortable. We're going to start shifting sideways. You don't need to go all the way, but if you have it in you, feel free to join me. Otherwise, you just go as far as you feel comfortable with this. So put your arms in front of you. And as your bum goes backwards, your right knee bends, your left knee twists to the outside until you're at the floor, and then push yourself backwards to the left. Left knee bends, right leg turns outwards, and come up again to the right. If for you that looks more like that, that is totally fine. But if you have the range and control, try to go a bit further. Good. Two more. One to the right and one to the left. Come and stand up. Walk yourself a little bit closer together and turn your feet facing outwards a little bit. And we go into what's called a sumo squat. So your knees go to the outside, your bum sits backwards. You can put your hands on the inside of your thigh and push them to the outside as you squat downwards. You can use your arms to take a bit of weight. If the legs are strong enough, you put your arms to the outside, and we're going to do 20 pulses in this position. Up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come and push up. Go a little bit closer together. This time, your feet facing straight forward. You sit backwards into a squat, again as low as you can. And from here, you hold this squat as we work through our calves. So get ready to go on your tiptoes and down 20 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Push yourself up. Walk a little bit closer together again. And we're going to squat down into a resting squat. So squat as low as you can, arms to the front. Try to keep your heels on the ground and sit through. Try to straighten up your spine. Shift a bit right and left if you can. Hold this position while I get a towel. And then I join you again in that low squat. Now put both of your arms to the front of the mat. Step backwards. 1 push-up. 1 dive to the front with a back bend. And meet me in downward facing dog. Raise your right leg to the back. Step to the front and come up into a high lunge. Only that now you're decreasing the distance between your legs a little bit and straighten both of them. From here, interlace your fingers behind you and you start hinging to the front. You'll feel the stretch on the back of your front leg. As you're at maximum tension, you then pull your elbows apart, draw the navel in, dive forward with the head, and your arm pulls upwards as high as you can. 3 breaths, every breath a bit further. 2, 3. Then come up into standing in a split stance, both legs straight. Now, your right hand goes onto your right hip. Your left arm raises up, reaches forward and dives down. Your right knee, your right shin, your right ankle. If possible, put it down onto the floor, a little bit further away from your left foot, or from your right foot, in line with your left foot. That's what I wanted to say. And you're going to twist to the right. In this position, it's important that you try to twist your right pelvis backwards, really pushing it back while still staying with your knee nice and straight. If you can't get into this position, bend the front leg a little bit to get into there, and then start slowly pushing yourself back and hold it there. Then look down towards your right foot, bend your right leg a little bit, raise your left leg upwards, raise your right arm upwards, raise your left arm off the floor, and come into a one-legged balance. By all means, put your hand down if you need it for balance, but other than that, try to twist to the right as much as you can and hold there. Then slowly come into one-legged stance. Don't put the foot down yet. Raise your left leg in front of you. Raise the knee as high as you can. Give it a hug if you need to. Other than that, go with your left hand down your shin towards your toe. Straighten out your left leg in front of you, trying to stand tall through your right leg. And if you want to bend it a bit, that's totally fine. Then bend the knee again of the upper foot, change hands, right hand onto your left outside of the foot, straighten through and twist to the left. Pulling your front foot, that is your left, to the right with your arm, and your left arm spins into rotation to the left. Then come back to center, still holding your leg up. Put your hands in front of your chest and start tilting forwards into aeroplane. Once you arrive there, you put your arms by your side, and we're going to do 10 one-legged squats. So both of your elbows touch your left knee, and you straighten through, arms apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Meet me in one-legged balance. Your left leg raises up, and we're going to do 10 calf raises only with your right foot. If that's too much for you, by all means put both feet down, but try to keep your left one off the ground and go. 1, 2, arms by your side for balance. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because that was quite easy. We'll do another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put your left foot down, roll forward into a forward fold. You've deserved that. You've worked hard. Then bend your knees, straighten your back, and step backwards with your right foot. Come up into high lunge with your arms up, then put your hands onto your pelvis and straighten through both legs so you can comfortably stand on the whole sole of both of your feet. Now, put your hands behind you And now hinge forward, straight back as far as you can. Once you're at your limit here, you start lifting your arms, draw your belly button towards the spine, and diving forwards with your head as low as you can. And 3 breaths. Every out breath, raise your arm a bit higher, raise your arms a bit higher. 1, 2, 3. Then slowly come up into that triangle stance. Stay here, left hand onto your left hip, and raise your right arm by your side in front of you. Then dive forward with your right arm, down your inner thigh, your calf, your ankle, your foot. Put it in line with your right foot onto the mat and twist to the left. By all means, like before, bend your front leg if you have to go to the floor, and then slowly try to straighten it out and spin through to the left. Then look down towards your left foot, bend your left knee, lift up your left leg, your left arm spins upwards and back, your right arm comes a bit to the front. Keep it off the floor if you can, and twist to the left as far as you can. And hold. Slow down your breath. That will help your balance. And slowly come into one-legged stance, still standing on your left leg only. Raise your right foot up in front of you. Take your right hand and grab your toe or your shin. Straighten to the front, straighten the left leg if you can, and hold. Change arms, so left hand onto the outside of your right foot, straighten through and open up to the right. Pulling your right foot over to the left and spinning your right shoulder to the right. Straighten left leg if you can. Slowly come into one leg balance, hands in front of your chest, and dive forward into aeroplane position, arms out by the side. And from here, if you have it in you, 10 one-legged squats. Both of your elbows touch your right knee, and you raise up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still standing on your left leg only. Raise your right hand, raise your right knee, give it a hug if you have to. And we're going to do 10 or 20 calf raises on the left. Arms out by your side and left tip of toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Both feet on the ground. Fold forward and rest for 3 breaths. Bend your knees if you want to. Either stay here or join me for one hop into plank position one push-up, one dive to the front with a back bend, and another dive to the front with a back bend, and another dive to the front with a back bend. Go back into downward facing dog, bend your knees, jump to the front, and I'm in position again, where I've left half of you probably. From here, slowly roll up into standing, raise your arms beside you, on top of you, and roll to the front all the way. From here, straighten your back, go into chair pose. And now, little challenge for everybody who likes it. We're gonna sit down onto the floor without using our hands. Please, don't just drop to the floor, use your hands by all means. By anybody who wants to try it, go into a wide squat, sit backwards, and you've made it to the floor somehow. All the other people I meet in sitting with your legs nice and straight, and we'll do a few abdominal roll downs. I'll talk you through very slowly for the first one, because many people tend to use their leg muscles more than their abdominal muscles and need to pull to get on and off the floor. So from here, we start again, tucking the chin towards the chest, rolling up your whole back. Now tuck it under your lower back. So you really want to thrust your pelvis upwards. You want to go down one vertebra at a time. So the lowest vertebra touches the floor, then the next, until you're lying down. And we'll do the same upwards again. Tuck your chin towards the chest. If you have to, reach to the front with your arms, but there's no jerky movement. One vertebra at a time peels off the floor, and you raise up. If in this position your legs lift up, it is because you're using your leg muscles and you're not having enough of a pelvic tuck. We'll try again. Tuck your pelvis under, roll down, and chin towards the chest, roll up again. And we'll do 5 more. Roll down, and come up again. 2, and roll down. 3, 4, and the 5th one. Everybody joins me. You tuck your pelvis under. You roll as low as you can without touching your lower back. Don't arch your back. Put your hands behind your neck and you hold it there in a C shape. And slowly still roll down one vertebra at a time. And you're on the ground. Now, for those who are quite strong, we'll do a V-sit straight from here. All the others just roll up into seating again. Anybody who needs an abdominal challenge, you put your arms behind your head, straight up, and you're gonna lift your straight legs and your straight arms at the same time, testing your balance, coming into V-sit. Let's see if that works. And lift up and balance in a V. Exactly. All the people who've been seated, all that they do is they lean backwards, raise one leg. If they can, raise 2 legs. If they can, straighten out into a V-sit and join me there. But you choose what you're doing. Keep your legs up. We're going to do 1 abdominal roll down to the back. And I meet you in V-sit again. Then for 20 seconds, we're going to kick your legs up and down, still in the V-sit or with the legs bent. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now put your feet down, put your arms behind you, straighten your legs, And lift up into reverse plank, but with your legs straight. And let your head hang backwards, if that feels all right. If that's quite easy, raise the right leg up and hold it there. 3 breaths. Leg down, sit down, and meet me into an abdominal sit. If you can, it will be the V-sit. And this time we're going to crisscross our legs again for 20 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, shoulders down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Legs up, arms behind you. Push yourself up into reverse plank. Let the head hang downwards. Left leg raises up if you can, and you hold. And sit down. Meet me in V-sit and slowly roll down to the floor. Legs stay up. Right leg raises, left leg hovers off the ground. If you have to, hold it. Other than that, hands behind your neck. And you want to touch your left elbow towards your knee, or you're aiming there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change legs, hold them for a moment. Then hands behind your neck, and again 10 times right elbow towards your right, left knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Raise both legs up, bend them for a moment. Catch your breath. Then straighten the legs up into the air. Hands behind your neck. And 10 normal sit-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, both of your legs shift over to the right. So they're just a bit out. You're still doing a straight sit-up, but your legs point to the right. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Legs over to the left, if you have the balance. And straight up again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Legs straight up. Slowly lower them down. And roll up into sitting. Sit to the front. If you can, jump to the back. And 1 push-up, 1 forward dive with a back bend. Downward dog. And from here, you go down into plank position on your elbows. And now you want to touch your left hip to the left. So you're just bouncing over to the left, touching it down, bouncing over to the right, touching it down, rolling onto the outside of your feet. 2 more each side. 1, 2, and another 1, 1, 2. From here, start walking into a dog on your forearm. That will require a bit of shoulder strength and abdominal strength as far as you can. Raise the right leg up, stretch your left calf, hold it there. 2 breaths. Right leg down, raise the left, and hold it there. 1. Go into plank position. And hold it for 5 breaths, making sure you tuck your pelvis under. Let's come together. Breathe in, out 1. Breathe in, out 2. Breathe in, breathe out 3. Breathe in, breathe out 4. One more. Breathe in. Slow out breath. 5. Go down onto your belly and roll onto your left side. Just stack your hips, stack your knees. Last exercise of the day. From here, still lifting your belly up a little bit. You raise your right leg. You put your right hand either in front of you or on your hips. And from here, we're going to do 5 circles. So you raise to the front, big circle back and down. 1 and 2, keeping your shoulder proud. 3 and 4, isolating the hip movement, as little spinal movement as possible. And 5, change direction, backwards, up to the front. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. Put the leg a little bit in front of you, and in this position, raise it up. 10 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Same position. Point your toes upwards, heel down 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Point your toes down, heel up, and again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then hold your abdominals. Swing your leg over to the other side. Meet me lying on your right side. Ankles stacked, hips stacked, shoulder and elbow stacked, belly raising up a bit. You lift your left leg a little bit up, arm on your hip or on the floor, to the front, up and back. 1 and 2. And really as high as you can. 3, 4, 5, 6, and go backwards. Back and up. 1, 2, proud chest, push through your elbow. 3, 4, 5, 1 extra. 6, come a bit to the front. Same position, raise the leg, 10 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Toes pointing downwards, same again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Toes pointing upwards, heel down 10 times. 1, 2, 3, a little bit higher. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then lie on your front. And we're going to start some of the stretches. So if you had to take a break because your legs or abdominals were giving up, just join in again now. So we start lying on your front and going onto your elbows. From here, you tuck your belly, you tuck your pelvis in, clenching your buttocks, and you try to push your chest to the front, doing a back bend, stretching the front of your body, of your abdominals, and breathe. Then straighten the left forearm, elbow, and push yourself to the right. Still back bending through your upper back, opening up your left abdominals. Come via the center, over to the left, straighten the right elbow, look up, and breathe. Come to the middle, If your back is good with back bending, straighten both elbows, but you're still tucking your pelvis under. Don't let your lower back arch too much with this. And then you meet me lying on your front. I just change position probably, so you can see me a little bit better if you're watching this afterwards. Now, lie on your front, on your forehead. Put your arms in a T shape from this position. Make sure your right fingers, they walk as far as you can to the outside. So they're stretching the arm away from the body. Then you bend the left knee so that your left foot comes upwards. You lift your left leg up and you rotate over so that you're twisting to the left. Once you're in this position, really make sure that your right arm goes as far as you can. You don't need to touch the floor with your feet, but you can. And breathe. And walk both of your hands as far apart as you can. Then your right arm raises upwards a bit, so walk it up a bit higher, further away from you, and twist a little bit more. If you want, even push with your left arm so that you're opening up the front of your right shoulder. Lower yourself down, walk a little bit higher with your right arm, and push yourself up again. Head can rest on the floor. I think I need to hold it up for the microphone. Then come via the center, chin towards the chest, lying on your forehead. Walk your left fingers as far to the left as you can. Then bend your right knee, raise it up and twist over to the right, so your foot will go to the left. And twist and crawl with your arm away. If you want, your right elbow can bend and you can press yourself a bit more, opening up the front of your left chest and twisting your back. Then walk your left hand, fingers a little bit higher up and further away, and twist again. And once more, a little bit higher up and twist again. Come on to the front, put your elbows by your side, push yourself back into a child's pose. Good. From here, just sit up so that you're sitting on your ankles. We'll work a little bit on your ankle mobility and on your calves. So put your right foot next towards your left knee. And now you're leaning to the front. You're pushing your right heel down to the floor, but you're giving your knee a hug and you pivot over it a little bit to really stretch some of the fibers of your calf in the right. And go a bit from side to side. See, even you might need to go a little bit further so that you're on your tiptoes almost, so that your muscles, and put your weight through the right leg. Then from here, sit up into a lunge. From the lunge position, you tuck your pelvis under, you lift your abdominals, you push your hips to the front and up. And then you're taking your right hand and reach down to the floor. Your left arm goes up and you reach over to the right, really opening up your left side. But don't bend to the front or don't go into a back bend. Stay sideways. And if you can, roll with your right toes further forward and further forward and further forward. Very good. Come to the middle with your hands, straighten the front leg, and with a straight back, hinge to the front until you feel a stretch on your hamstrings, and then rotate your leg a little bit inwards and outwards. Then walk your right foot further to the front and out. So you're in a very wide lunge. And now try to put your hands onto the floor, or you aim to put your elbow onto the floor and give your right knee a bit of a hug, going from side to side. Then you meet me in kneeling pose again. Put your left foot next towards your right knee, or even a little bit further back. Then lean to the front, give your left knee a bit of the hug, and push your heel downwards and go a bit right and left. Then come into a lunge, and from the lunge, tuck your pelvis under, send your hips forwards and upwards, lift your abdominals, and lunge a bit to the front. Now, this time left arm reaches down, right arm reaches up, and over to the left, and go. And walk your left foot further to the front. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And that will open up your right side quite lots. Use your breathing to intensify that stretch. Then meet me in the middle. Walk your left foot further to the outside and front, and go into a very deep lunge. If you can, put your hands down. If you can, put your elbows down. If you can, hug your left knee and go a bit from side to side and back and forth. And meet me in a sitting position. From here, you put your right leg to the front so that your thigh is pointing straight forward and you have 90 degrees at your knees and your toe is pulling upwards. You then put your left leg over, you might lean a bit to the right for this, next towards your right knee. Once you're there, you put both hands behind you and you try to straighten yourself up. Once you're sitting again, you try to twist a bit to the left, so your left arm walks a bit further backwards and your right arm gives your left knee a hug, and you push yourself to the front as much as you can. Then we change that fold. So you put your left thigh facing straight forward, 90 degrees at the knee, toes pulling upwards. Lean a bit to the left. Put your right foot next towards your left knee. Both of your hands behind your back. Put yourself up into sitting. Twist a little bit to the right. So your right hand walks a bit further. Your left arm reaches forward and takes your right knee. And you pull that towards your chest while you're still leaning forward and trying to put both of your sitting bones onto the ground. And now I'll have a little treat for you. That will take a little bit to set up, but quite satisfying. So just lie backwards onto your back. with your knees bent. From here, and now try to follow me. You just lift your right leg and knee upwards. You take hold of it with your left hand, either at your knee or your ankle or your toes. You can change that afterwards. You then rotate over to the left so that your right foot touches the ground almost. You take your right arm and grab your left ankle. Once you've gripped that ankle, you rotate further and you pull your left ankle towards your buttocks while you push your left knee downwards. If you want, on your right, as I said, take your toe and straighten through. That's actually a stretch that prevents your back from being twisted and all the movements coming from your hips. You will feel that on the front of your left thigh and the back of your right thigh, potentially a little bit your sides as well. Then come to the middle again. If that was very complicated, we'll try again on the other side. Raise the left leg up. Take your right hand onto your left knee and twist it over until you're on the ground. You then take your left arm and reach towards your right ankle. And you pull that ankle towards your buttocks as you're pulling the knee downwards. Again, you can maybe with your right hand reach towards the toes and slowly straighten through to get that nice double stretch. It will all be recorded, so you can have a closer look later on how this position looks. If I've lost you, I'll give you a little bit of an alternative. So we start again, lying on your back. Now you raise your right leg up, and now you either take your knee, your shin, your ankle, preferably your toes. You don't need to straighten the leg. You put your arm, your right arm into a t-shirt, and you fold your right leg over to the left, trying to straighten through, touching the heel onto the ground. Meet me in the middle again. Raise your left leg, grab hold of your shin, your ankle, your toe, your heel. Put your left arm to the outside and fold your right leg, your left leg over to the right, trying to touch your heel onto the ground. And hold it there. Meet me in the middle. Put your feet a little bit further away than hips width and fold one knee at a time towards the ground. Try to make that quite an isolated movement, working on your hip rotation. Might feel quite odd. And then you do both legs. Let both knees drop to the left. Your left ankle can hug your right knee to the ground. Then let both knees fall to the right. Your right ankle can hug the left knee to the ground and just relax there. Then lie on your back, lift both knees up, grab on the inside of your legs, grab the outside of your feet, and pull your knees into your chest as far as you can. Rock a bit from side to side. And if you can, straighten both legs through. Then bend your knees, put the soles of your feet together, and push your knees to the outside, pulling your heels towards your buttocks. And then slowly let your legs stretch out. Put your arms beside you and just enjoy a few breaths, relaxing. Last deep breath in and slowly out. Then roll over onto your right side. Push yourself up into seated. Come and stand up. Fold forward without the microphone falling out. And slowly roll up into standing. Put the arms by your side. Deep breath in, pushing your chest to the front. And that's your mobility class done for today.